And they're off.
And we're away.
Right, we'll quickly go through some of the athletes we've got in the lineup of the elite race for the men's and the women's. I'll start off with the men. We've got Cameron Allen from Horton Harriers. Cameron's in very, very good shape at the minute. He's got a number of wins over the cross country. I think he probably would have been a little bit disappointed with his Liverpool performance, and since then it's probably spurred him on to get going back roaring to go with training again. Got Joe Armstrong, like I've just mentioned. It's fresh from his 5k PB, 14:13. I'm sure off the back of that, you would expect him to be looking to go well under sub 29:30 if possible. And you've also got Alex Brown. He's going well, strong athlete. You should see him with the Morpeth Harriers vest on there, along with the blue and the white stripes. We've got Jonathan Escalante Phillips from Cambridge and Coleridge. Can't quite see him yet. Do you want to, and then I think the next guy doesn't need much introduction.
No, he doesn't. No, it's local lad Callum Johnson, Gateshead Harriers. Callum's former national cross-country winner in the counties, cross-country champion, Leyden 2023 winner, Great North 10k winner, so he's winning, and obviously he won the Jarrow 10k most recently as well. I think, obviously we've had a little chat of the field there, but just cutting back to this race, it looks like it's Dennis Kiplanger that's sort of hit this one hard from the off, really, and these two seem, from the position that we are in and what we can see that they seem to have gapped a bit of a march. Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain this, though. The pace seems to be pretty quick at the minute. And we're still in the early stages. I mean, I watched the European Cross Country Championships, and I watched Liverpool, the European Cross Country Trials. Callum Johnson, you can see him in third, and Cameron Allen just tucking in as well behind. Not far, just keeping them within touching distance, but it's exactly how Callum plays it at the Europeans. He said his coach, Alan Story, very, very experienced. I'm sure he would have talked him through how he was going to run the race today, not to go off like a bat out of hell with the wind. What do you think about the course then, Big Red? I mean, we were talking earlier about it being sheltered. I mean, it's flat as a pancake, you can see already.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at the left and right, it looks pretty sheltered. We should benefit from it a lot.
Yeah, 100%, Cam. I think, like we've said, it's a windy day, but you can see from this feed that we're getting now, it's very well sheltered. And like we touched upon earlier, it doesn't seem to be deterring them from getting out there and running hard from the off. So people run 10k different, don't they, Cam? You'll know for yourself from doing them. Some people like to get out, hit it hard from the off. Others like to build into races, really push through the second half of the 5k. I'm sure all these athletes are at a standard where they know the best way to run a 10k. So.
Well, it becomes psychological too, I guess. Yeah. And, you just look at Dennis Kiplanger. He's, Joe looks easy. I mean, his shoulders are nice and relaxed. You can tell if a runner's relaxed with his shoulder. But that's a bit of a surprise. Looks like Joe Armstrong's gone to the front. Maybe the pace has dropped slightly and Dennis has sort of realised he's being used as a bit of a pacemaker and doesn't kind of want to do all the work with the wind, which could be a sensible move. But just to touch on what we were talking about and what Richard said is that when they're on the way out, and that's where the wind's kind of the worst, is that both sides of the course seem to be pretty sheltered. So they'll go out here and they'll turn left and go a bit further along. I think this is the most exposed part of the course. So you can see the bands on the right.
Band there on the side, exactly, yeah.
But this is the most exposed part of the course. But again, it's not overly exposed. They've got the key side on the left, but the right-hand side seems to be pretty sheltered.
They did go through 2k in just under 6 minutes. So, it is around that 3 minutes per k mark, which is going to bring them home in about 30 minutes. You'd imagine that they're gonna rally the last few k. So,
I think
at this point, it's going to be a sub 30 race. But
I think what you'll expect now, to be honest with you, Rich, is that Callum will hit the front, which it looks like he already is.
Right on
he
cue.
Won't want that pace to drop because he is strong. And I'm telling you, Cameron Allen, he won't want the pace to drop. His 10-kilometre PB is the fastest in the field, 28.5 minutes. That is rapid.
I wonder now, Cam, whether these guys are starting to think a little bit about the prize money, the race series overall. I think from looking at the top flight prize list that we've got in front of us here, first place today, it's a minimum of 450 quid. That's going to be on your mind thinking, it's £450 at stake here. But then, as we know from the series that this, the top flight have brought to us, for those who didn't get to see the podcast, top flight in association with RunThrough, it's this top flight series is number of races throughout the year over 2024, and your 3 highest scoring races contribute to an overall points system, and there will be cash prizes for that. And the cash prizes themselves are really hefty. If you're first place over the full series, then you're going to be walking away with £1,000. So again, if these guys are eyeing up the potential of completing the series, completing 3 races in that series and trying to take maximum points at each one of them, then actually the time element of things doesn't become the priority. It then becomes about, well, actually, I want to win this race, because I want to win this race, I'm going to get more points. And as we know, Cam, points mean prizes in the top flight series. So
it shows the popularity that the run-through events do have. And with, like I say, without the people who, aside from the elite, without them attending the events, the atmosphere wouldn't be the same for the elite either. So
yeah,
there is a few runners in the women's race who only maybe 3 or 4 years ago started running at a run-through events and are now running for England. One of those is, in fact, Jasmine Woods. She ran for England as an under-20 international in Cardiff at the Cardiff 5k in the summer. And 3 or 4 years ago, she decided, I'm going to lace the boots up. I'm going to run. There's a run-through event at my local near my local area down south. She did it, loved it, and now she's an international athlete. And I'm sure she'll be out there with another. We've got another 3 ladies in the elite event today, trying to battle it out. Sophie Pikett. I'm sorry if I think I got that one right this time, Sophie. And I know I got it. I know she joked last time at the Newcastle 10k that I said her name wrong, so I do apologise. She's running for Elsie Harriers. Jasmine's running for Durham City Harriers. Both of them 34-30, both northeast runners. Yeah. Great to see. And also Emily Kearney as well with a 33.09 PB. And also we have an additional entry. We didn't talk about her in the podcast because she's just joined the race. Rebecca Robinson from Kendal AC, another 33.09 PB, which is quite unheard of to have such 2 PBs within two sets of runners within a second of each other.
Yeah.
That's usually pretty unheard of. I'm not sure what sort of shape Rebecca Robinson will be in. I don't think she's run 33.09 for a number of years, but I'm sure she'll still be battling with the rest of the girls. I think in the podcast we got sort of touched base about how Emily had run a marathon, and 2 weeks later she'd run Ribble Valley and run 33.50. Was it 59?
Yes,
Rich?
Yeah, I think so.
But that's actually, I think, if we look at the personal bests of Sophie and Jasmine, you might think 30 seconds off of that. That's quite a long way, but honestly, the shape those 2 are in at the minute, both winning races, both running personal bests, I can imagine this is going to be closer than what people think. I think this is going to be going again.
I think now we're getting to the thick of the race, coming up to 4 miles in, we've got 2 miles to go. I think now this is where, if you're in this lead pack and you're feeling good, this is where people are going to start thinking about how they're going to win it. And I think each athlete is probably going to have a slightly different way of winning it. I think someone like Callum Johnson, he might be looking to make a move.
To go.
Yeah, he does. He looks easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And Callum does as well. Like I said before about the way Joe was running at the start, you can usually tell if someone's sort of feeling quite comfortable just by looking at the shoulders. You can see both the shoulders of Callum and Cameron quite relaxed. Same with Dennis, to be fair. It's hard to tell whether or not he's just sort of sitting back.
Absolutely.
He's got a great 13.55 5k PB, which means that the second half of the race, it was clearly slower at the start. Now that those 3 have took off, I'm sure he'll be raring to go as well, and sort of maybe looking at sort of going through the heads now will be like thinking, right, when am I going to kick? When am I going to make my move? When am I going to show my cards?
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, they're all looking easy. They're all looking relaxed.
I've watched Callum race a number of times. Again, here we go. It looks like he's starting to hit
the
front now.
Definitely. And Cam Allen is tracking. Yeah, and he's not letting him out of his sights at all. I think what Cam Allen's got in the back of his mind is being a 3:43 1500 meter runner. He knows he can shift. He knows he can kick. So he's thinking, well, if I'm in contact with 100 to go, then it's game on. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, he does look relaxed, and he's not letting Callum Johnson out of his sight. I think for the first time in this race, we're seeing a little gap.
Sort of tracking Callum. He looks comfortable. He's checking his watch. I mean,
yeah, he looks very relaxed. Exactly, he looks very relaxed.
Said, Rich. I think he's definitely going to be sat on Callum, hoping that he can hang on for the last 100 meters, maybe try and work his way past. But to be honest, in a 10-kilometer race like this, when it's going at this pace, it's not always about speed. It's about strength. It's about sprint endurance, speed endurance, should I say? Sorry. So I'll be interested to see if Cameron's got any kind of kick in his legs. I know that he said he's not doing indoors to me. I spoke to him a few months ago. He lives quite close to me. He said to me that he's aiming for the roads and he's aiming for the cross country. He's proved his form on the cross country. This is his time to prove it on the roads. So he'll be wanting to, get that scalp of Callum. He's Callum again, like we just said. Callum did finish in front of him at Liverpool. Callum finished 5th at the European Cross Country Trials. He was in the European Cross Country Championships running for Great Britain. Cameron will be wanting to sort of get one back, one over again on Callum. Absolutely. You can see him.
You can see these boys are coming in with 500 metres to go now. It's not far. This is it where we're really starting to get the moves being made. And it looks like Cam Allen is, the stride for stride. This is really exciting stuff to watch unfold here as they head back into Quayside. Cam, who's your money on? Like we've mentioned, that 3:43 speed. You would fancy him, and it looks as though he's got half a yard on Johnson, but he's still there, isn't he? And he's strong. No, he's not at all.
He's still there. He's still within touching distance. This is anyone's game as the home straight now.
Oh, here we go. Johnson looks as though he's pulling out a touch as well. 250 to go.
It looks like Callum's picked up the pace again. It looks like Cameron's digging deep. It looks like Callum could come past him here if he doesn't pick up the pace. It's stride for stride as they go all the way down the home straight. We're coming into what is probably now the last 150 metres.
Yeah, 150 to go.
There's still touching distance, a stride between the two of them. Callum's, you can see the arms pumping. Cameron Allen, head going down.
Oh, these boys are really going for it now. Callum Allen opening up at the front there. Johnson, come on, lads.
It looks like it's going to be Cameron Allen. Yeah, he looks like he's took it. Just take it from Callum Johnson.
Great time as well. 29:28 for the win, it looks like that.
Like this, there's gusts of winds in the 30 kilometres per hour this morning.
What a battle that was. So I presume we've got Kip Langer going to be coming in third again. He's still going to be under 30 minutes. A great run from him. We know a little bit more about him now. We know what standard he's at in the sport later on in life, and he's having a good run. Oh, here we go. Is this the first female?
Here we go, Jasmine Wood. Well done, Jasmine. Jasmine's won women's 10k. It was hard to see. I seen her on the way back. Wasn't quite able to see where she finished, where she was at. But look, you can see how overjoyed she is. And I can imagine she's probably quite surprised because I know personally, I went to Durham University and, I've trained alongside these people and I've still touched base with a lot of them. And I know that it was submission week for her. She had 3 submissions in the last week, and everyone who's been to university will understand the sleepless nights you have. And over the last few nights, she's had no more than 6 hours. So great to see her running so well. I'm sure her coach will be over the moon. That's a massive PB. I think was that sub 34 minutes?